skip a note or two. 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 Hey there, I'm Ken Calisher at Teletoon Studio. And I'd like to tell you about a game that I came up through teaching my students voice leading. And this game will teach the mechanics of voice leading without the need of much theory. So there's going to be a little bit of talking of theory, but very little. So what is voice leading? Voice leading is when you go from one chord to the next, where all the different notes of the chords move smoothly with minimal jumping around. And it's also excellent for singers or making harmonies because, as the name implies, voice leading is often used so each singer goes smoothly from one chord to the next. So bad voice leading is if you learn your chords like this and then you jump up here and there. Whereas good voice leading, you would play. So that's basically what voice leading is. Now, if you're a musician and already have learnt voice leading, this might be still a good game for you to learn, because when I understood voice leading and I could play through things well, I never realized the mechanics that were happening over and over until I started teaching, and I started to notice these things that keep on going. So this is a game in 3 parts. It's kind of like a logic game, like tic-tac-toe. It's not very difficult, but once you figure it out, it'll help you see the movements from chord to chord that happen. So to play the game, you're going to need a keyboard. A full piano will work best because a small keyboard, you're going to have to be moving yourself around. We're only using the black notes to identify where the notes are for the starting. So our starting position is going to be the 2 black notes in the middle of the keyboard, the note just to the left of it, which is a C, and then we're going to skip a note and skip a note. So that's our starting point. In this game, we're only allowed 3 patterns. We're allowed skip a note, skip a note. We're allowed skip a note, skip 2 notes. And we're allowed skip 2 notes and skip a note. So those are the only patterns allowed to play the game. And we're going to start with, as I say, next to the 2 black notes, skip a note up, skip a note up. And that's our starting point. Okay, so to play the game, we have 3 levels. Level 1, we're only allowed to move 1 note, and we're always going to be moving up for the first part of level 1. So we start in our first position, and then you're allowed to move 1 up, but you have to keep one of those 3 patterns. And once you've moved that one, then you move another note up. And then you move another note up, but only 1 note at a time, always keeping those patterns. And you're going to see after a while that there's a pattern there. And then you'll actually know what the pattern is. And then once you've done that, you're going to find yourself, you run out of room and you're up high in the keyboard. So you've figured that out. Now you're going to do the same thing in reverse. 1 note down, then another note down, then another note down, continuing until you get back down. So that's level 1. So I want you to figure that out on your own. Pause the video and I will be back with talking about level 1. Okay, so did you figure it out? I think you probably did. It's not that difficult. If you didn't, so what we're doing is we start with skip a note, skip a note. The first move that you can do, you're going to notice you can't move this note because that leaves two notes to get. You can't move that note. So the only note you can move is the top note. And then you can't move the bottom note and you can't move the top note to keep those. So now it's the middle note. And then you have to move the bottom note. And then you move the top note. And then you move the middle note. Then you move the bottom note. And it keeps on going. So as I say, it's not that complicated. So what are we doing here? What are these chords? Every time you make a move, what's happening is your bass note, if you're starting, you can even start at the same place with one finger. So every time one move notes, the bass note or the lower note skips one note down. And then you skip another note down. You're always skipping a note and then one note up. And this note moves down and then you skip it down again. So what we've done is in this first part of the game, you learned, in this first part, you've learned how to play in thirds. A third is when the root note skips one note down from the scale. Okay, excellent. So once you get to the top and you're back up high, the reverse of it is now the bass moves up where you have one move down. So notice each time one moves, you have an opposite direction. So that's the end of level 1. So what you're going to want to do is move the bass notes. And that's the name of the chords. So even if you don't know, I will have another video later to explain the theory. But the name of the chord is the bass note. Some of them are major, some of them are minor, and one of them's even diminished. But for now, we're not going to talk about that. I just want you to see the mechanics. Okay, now we're ready for level 2. Level 2, we're dealing with moving 2 notes. So now it's the same 3 patterns. There's no more patterns. So when we're moving 3 notes, we start with skip a note, skip a note. But now we need to move 2 notes. So again, it's just the same 3 patterns, but there's logic behind it. This is a little more tricky. So again, I want you to pause the video and figure it out. Because for me to just show it to you without you spending the time to figure it on your own, I would rather you spend the time, figure out how it works. And then I will explain it to you once you've done it. Because for me to show you, I've always learned you're going to know something better when you sit and spend the time to figure it out on your own time without someone just showing you. Because when people show you stuff, you tend to forget it quicker. So pause your video. Okay, so did you figure that one out? So this one's a little bit tricky, but it's still not that difficult. So we're starting again in the starting position. You can't move the bottom 2 notes, and you can't move the outside notes. The only notes you can move for the first move is the top 2 notes. So we get the top 2 notes, and now this one's probably the trickiest one. We can't move the bottom notes, and we can't move the top notes. You have to move the 2 outside. So the second move is the outside notes. Third move is the bottom notes. Then we do the top 2 notes. And then we do the outside notes. And then once you start to get to here, you see, everything's happening over and over again. So you've learned the pattern of this level. So once you get to the top again, part 2 of the game is going down. So when you're at the bottom 2 notes have to come down. And then the outside notes. And then the top notes. And then the bottom notes. And then the outside notes. And then the top notes. And then the bottom notes. And it goes down till you get back to the bottom. So, what's the bass line do for this? And this is where we're going to run out of room. The bass note is now skipping 2 notes going in the same direction. So if we start on here, the bass note skips 2 notes. Then again, it skips 2 notes again. And what's going to happen is you're going to run out of room real quick. So what happens is when you run out of room, you're going to have to move down. So if you look in the left hand, moving up 2 notes, this note's the same as there. So instead of going up 2 notes, if I use my hand as a measuring stick, I go from my thumb with a finger on every note, I just play my pinky. And that does the same thing. So, and then you keep on going up again. 2 notes up, 2 notes up, and when you run out of room, you can go from thumb down to pinky. So that's level 2. So you want to learn that in both directions. Okay, so now we're ready for the final one. Level 3 is when you move all 3 notes. And it's the hardest and the easiest. I'll just tell you, because the easiest way, and in pop music, this is done all the time, is you just take all the notes and you just go up in the same direction. Easy peasy. In traditional harmony, you don't want all the notes moving in the same direction. But a note on this, if you do that, try not to do it in root position. It sounds better. And when I say root position, that's skip a note, skip a note. Do it in skip 2 notes, skip a note. Or skip 2 notes, skip a note. Because they sound better. But what we want to do now is have the notes move in the opposite direction. And that's where it's more difficult. So now, level 3, we want one note to skip 2 notes and the other notes to go 1. So this one will be the hardest. It might take a bit more to figure out, but try to figure out on your own because, so remember, we need to keep the same 3 shapes. One note has to skip 2 and the other ones move 1. Okay, see if you can figure it out. Okay, did you figure it out? Because this one is a bit tricky. So what's happening now, when we start in the root position, to skip 2 notes, there's only one note that can skip 2. If you skip this one and then bring this up, they don't work. The only one that can move is the top note. So if the top note moves 2 notes and the other ones move 1, you get this. Okay, now what can we move? The only note that can move 2 is the middle note. So the middle note moves up 2, and then the other ones. And now, the only note that can move up 2, really, keeping the same patterns, is the bottom note, and then the other ones move up 1. And then that keeps happening. Top note and others follow. Middle and the other notes go up. And bottom note and the other notes go up. So what's happening now, instead of doing this, now what's happening is we start here, and then we move the top note up 2 and others follow. And hear how it sounds different. It sounds a little more interesting. Bottom note goes down 1, skip the middle one up 2, the others follow 1. The bottom note goes down 1, the bottom one skips up 2, and the other ones go up 1. So just so you know, all the chords in C, the first chord is C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, the B diminished, and the C. So those are all the chords, the triads. And when I mean triad, 3-note chords. There's other chords, but most chords we use are triads. Okay, I think that covers it. So I'm Ken Calisher at Teletoon Studio, and you just learned how to play Skip a Note or Two. I will try to do a video in the future explaining the theory. On my channel, I also have a video called Piano Triads that's much more involved and will explain the deeper theory. But I'll try to do a shorter video, so that video is quite long. Okay, see you later. Thank you very much. Skip